Hello everyone, welcome to Movie Talk. Today I'm going to be talking about everything that I watched this month, including movies, series, TV shows, everything, even short films, but I actually haven't watched any TV shows, just movies. So to start with, I don't want to make this video a huge one, so I'm going to talk about these movies really fast, just the major thoughts in my head. And I haven't watched a lot of movies, like I'm only 17 years old, so I haven't watched a lot of movies. So if there's a movie here that you are like, oh my god, how have you never watched this movie? Well, I just haven't had the time, or I just didn't want to watch it. I started the month with The Revenant. I knew absolutely nothing about this movie. The only thing that I knew was that Leonardo DiCaprio won Best Actor, won the Oscar for Best Actor, and I knew that Tom Hardy was in this movie. Then I literally knew nothing. I didn't even know that it was directed by Iñárritu. I love this movie, absolutely, 10 out of 10. I was watching this and I was like, this is a really interesting plot. It has some beautiful cinematography, and it was a movie that I absolutely loved. The final act is a bit disappointing, but in everything is just a. It's not a perfect movie, but I don't think 10 out of 10 movies need to be literally perfect. Then I watched What We Do in the Shadows. Absolutely love this movie. Like, I love Taika Waititi work. He has made this movie, What We Do in the Shadows. He has made Jojo Rabbit. He has made Thor Ragnarok. Those are absolutely amazing movies. I love him as a director and as an actor. Of course, he obviously acts in his movies also, and I love him in every kind of thing that he does. But nowadays he has been making some bad movies, not literally bad, but kind of meh, like Thor: Love and Thunder and Next Cool Wins. But that's not the point. That's not the point. This movie is absolutely hilarious. I love watching it. It kind of has the thing of low budget films that we kind of see sometimes, that the production design is a bit whatever. Like we see that it's not anything special, but that's nothing in the story. But I love that movie. Then I watched The Post. This is a Steven Spielberg movie, and just because of that, it deserves 5 stars just because of that. I didn't like the script of this movie. I find the story really not interesting, and there is a lot of exposition. But there are some things that really make this movie have a better experience, like the cinematography, the direction of Steven Spielberg, and of course the actors Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep. Just that doesn't make the movie, like, the script is really, I'm not gonna say it's bad, but it's something that it doesn't captivate me. Then I watched Talk to Me. I've already made a movie review about this. I can link the video in the description below, so I'm not gonna talk about it. Then I watched Yes Man. Just a bit of context to you, I was in the hospital when I watched this movie. I had to do a knee surgery, so I was kind of in a bad mood, and I was watching this in the television, and I quite liked it. I love. I loved Jim Carrey's performance. He's a great actor. I cannot believe that he hasn't been nominated to an Oscar. Like, there are some movies that he truly deserved it, and I think he's a really great actor. This movie, of course, is supported by Jim Carrey's completely. The script is nothing interesting. Well, it's interesting, the premise, but the developing of the story is nothing huge. Then there are these certain parts of the movie that we kinda don't like it, but it's a decent movie. That's what I wanna say. It's a decent movie. Then I watched Whiplash. Whiplash was a movie that I was seeing a lot of people comment on. I was seeing a lot of people say this was one of the greatest of all time, and I was seeing a particularly YouTuber that was saying that this was the greatest movie they have ever seen. So that already puts the movie expectations right up there. So maybe it was this. Maybe it was because of this that I didn't enjoy as much as I would have liked. But yes, it's a great movie. There are some things that I kind of find hard to believe that would happen in real life, and it puts off me in the movie. But as a story, it's an interesting story, and it has a great direction and a good actor from our protagonist, and a great, amazing acting by J.K. Simmons. But then, it's not. It's nothing huge of a movie. It's not a 10 out of 10, as a lot of people I am seeing that say this is a 10 out of 10. Then I rewatched Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know what to say about this movie. Everything that has to be said has been already said by a lot of people. Everyone loves Raiders of the Lost Ark, me included. I've never met anyone that says, I don't like Indiana Jones. Like, that's impossible to happen because it's a perfect movie, it's a perfect story, a perfect character. Like, it's an amazing movie. Although, I thought that this movie was in my top 5 Steven Spielberg, but maybe it isn't. That's that's very polemical. Then I watched Enola Holmes 2. So you might wonder why I watched this movie, and I can't really answer you because I have no clue why. So, long story short, there was a lot of people in the room. People wanted to watch a movie, they didn't know what to watch. Some guy suggested Enola Holmes 2, and we watched Enola Holmes 2. I watched the first movie, like it was in 2020, if I'm not mistaken, the Enola Holmes, the first movie, and I quite enjoyed it. It wasn't anything special, but I enjoyed the movie. I really liked Millie Bobby Brown at that time. Nowadays, I'm not the biggest fan in the world, but I still like her, and I thought it was a fun movie to watch. This one, I didn't like it. Like, there are still a lot of stuff that is, visually attractive to people. Like, the production design of the movie is something really great, but then the story is bad. The story is just bad. The script is bad. The acting of Millie Bobby Brown is good. She's a good actress, and I think that this movie was a big downstep from the first one. Like, I just really didn't got into it. Then I rewatched Cars. So Cars was a movie that I had really close in my heart because it was a movie that I watched when I was a kid, when I was younger, and I thought that this movie was an amazing one. It isn't, but I have to agree on people that say that this isn't a bad movie. Like, everyone says, it's not everyone, sorry. A lot of people say that Cars, the trilogy of Cars, is a bad one. Like, the movies aren't great. Maybe they're not great, but they're good at least. The only thing that I think it could be nicer is that the movie is really fun for kids because it's a bit dull sometimes, a bit childish, and I think that adults and teenagers, like elder people, could enjoy this movie more than only the kids, because I think it has a story to tell that could be interesting, but it kind of throws it away with so many childish scenes and so many things that don't make much sense just to make the kids enjoy the movie. I think everyone could enjoy this film, but it's still a great one. Then I watched Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So this is the time of the month that I started seeing that I had missed a lot from this year. Like 2023, there were a lot of films that I haven't watched, and I started watching them because I missed on a lot of stuff. And this was one of the movies that I missed. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is an almost perfect movie. I loved it, every single bit of the movie, but I can give it a 10. Maybe it's because I'm being biased towards Oppenheimer, and I love that movie. For me, it's the best one of the year. And maybe I'm being biased because I don't want any movie to be better than the Oppenheimer. So it's a thing that maybe the movie deserves a 10, but I don't think so because of that whole scene of the Spider-Man's chasing Miles Morales. But it's a perfect movie. It has a lot of comedy. The art direction is amazing. Cinematography, acting, like everything in this movie is amazing. If you haven't watched this movie, you're missing so much. You're missing on so much. But I feel like I'm one of the few people that didn't watch this movie when it came out. Then I watched Air, and I know that Air, Spider-Man, and other stuff has came out really earlier in this year, so I know I missed things. I know I've missed things. Don't start saying, "Oh my God, how didn't you watch this movie when it was released?" You know, I don't really know why. So, Air is a really fun story. I love Matt Damon. He's one of my favorite actors nowadays, and he's literally on my top 5 best actors. Maybe not best actors, but favorite actors. He's an amazing actor. I love the story. I love the thing that they did with Michael Jordan. Like, they never showed his face. It's an amazing movie. It's an amazing experience. Of course, not perfect. There are things in the movie that I think it could have been cut out, but great film, great film. Then I watched Dune. No, I didn't rewatch. I watched. Yeah, I know. I didn't watch this movie when it was released. You know, things happen. Things happen. This movie would be a perfect experience to watch on an IMAX. Like, I am really. I don't know how to say this, but I am really angry with myself because I didn't watch this when it was released. It's an amazing experience, like visual effects and cinematography, film editing, sound. The sound of the movie is really great. But I'm gonna give the thing. I'm gonna give the opinion that everyone gives when watching this movie, that it's not complete. And yeah, what you can do, like, it's not a complete movie. Like, it doesn't have an ending. It has a part of a character's development that is closed with the death of the father, but the movie is not complete. So I am really expecting a lot from Dune Part 2, and this, with this being postponed, I it's something that got me really angry, really frustrated. But you can do anything. It's just the actor strike. But talking about Dune, it's a great movie, and I am anxious to watch it again. And I hope they like relaunched it in the cinema, because I want to have the theater experience of this movie. Then I watched Knock at the Cabin. This movie is a M Night Shyamalan movie, like that's already very polemical. But this movie, I saw a lot of people comment that this was a decent movie. I was seeing people that was saying that this was a bad movie, and I was seeing people say this was an awful movie. I didn't see a single person comment that this movie was a good one. Like, really good, not just decent. I loved the experience of Knock at the Cabin. I loved the story. I loved the characters' development of all of them, except Rupert Grint's character, because he appeared like 5 minutes in the film. And this, it was a great experience. I wasn't expecting a lot from this movie because the things that I've just said. So maybe it was because I wasn't expecting much that it delivered a lot. But I think that it was an amazing experience. The thing that I really disliked it, and when I say really, it was really disliked it, was the dialogues. Like, there are some awful dialogues. Like, I don't know who was the writer of this movie, but I really hope it wasn't M Night Shyamalan, because it would fall really into my heart. His status, things like this. Like, I really didn't like. I thought it was really horrendous, some of the dialogue in this movie. But apart from that, it is an amazing experience. I recommend it a lot. Then I watched Tetris. Like, this was a movie that I wasn't expecting to watch. Like, I found out that this movie was released by a YouTuber that I watched, a cinema YouTuber that I watch. I have seen like only him talk about this movie, and he said that this was a decent movie. I absolutely loved the first act of this film. Like, the first 30 minutes is a perfect movie. I was seeing this in the first 30 minutes of the movie. I was like, this is a perfect movie. I was really hoping that this would be a perfect movie. I really loved some of the things. And then the movie started to fall a bit. With all the things in Russia and the political things and the things like this, with the contracts and all of that, the movie fell down quite a bit. But I still got into the story. Like, I was still very focused on what the story was trying to say and everything that was happening. I was still interested, even though I liked more the first act. Then I watched Renfield. I am frustrated about this movie because the first 15-20 minutes are absolutely masterpiece, are very funny. And the thing that holds up this movie, of course, is Nicolas Cage being Dracula. Delivers a lot. Nicolas Cage, he's an amazing actor. It doesn't appear as much as I would have liked. And then we have Renfield, the protagonist. Like, he's a interesting character. He has a good development. But then, apart from Nicolas Cage and Renfield, every other character is absolutely awful written, is absolutely disgusting to watch. Like the love interest from Renfield is like that girl. I absolutely didn't buy. It was an awful character development. Also, Teddy Lobo and that family, the Lobos, like the mother, that was so cliche. It was so bad that I really disliked it. And I really wanted to love this movie more because it has some really good comedy. But then sometimes, it's just too much. And when neither Nicolas Cage nor Renfield are appearing in the movie, it just falls down a cliff completely. Then I watched the E.T. 10 out of 10 movie. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm just gonna say top 5 Steven Spielberg easily. Yeah, let's just go on. Then I rewatched Sherlock Holmes. I didn't remember a lot from this movie. I was really captivated by the soundtrack. I made a video of Hans Zimmer's scores, and this one was there, and I wanted to rewatch the movie because I didn't remember a lot, and I loved it. Now I'm talking really fast. Like in the movie, people really talk too fast, and that's the thing that I most disliked about the movie. It was that there were a lot of times that I didn't understand what was happening because the people were saying like things too fast and I wasn't understanding anything. But it's a great story. Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law give a good performance and is a fun movie to watch. It's just a fun movie to watch. Then I rewatched Catch Me If You Can. Again, a lot of people wanted to watch a movie and I recommended Catch Me If You Can, and amazing. It's an amazing movie. I wanted to give this movie a 10 out of 10 because I love the story. I made a work for school about Frank William Abagnale and his history, of course. And this movie is an amazing one. It makes me so captivating. It makes me so much into the story, and it's an amazing direction, amazing performances, amazing cinematography, amazing everything. Except one thing or two that we don't need to talk about, but I really recommend everyone to watch Catch Me If You Can because it's a movie for everyone. Then I rewatched The Incredibles. The Incredibles is a movie that I've watched like 20 times in my life, and I will never get tired of. It's a perfect movie in every aspect. It delivers what everyone wanted to see in the superhero genre. Like, this is not a movie from DC or Marvel, but it's a movie about superheroes, and I think everyone likes this movie. I don't see a single soul saying that this movie is bad. Everyone loves it, and I completely understand why. It has everything in this movie is perfect. Like, besides being a bit old, like it has already 20 years, and the 3D animation is a bit it's a bit outdated, but it's nothing that we can talk badly about it. Then I watched The Haunting in Venice. I've already done a video about this movie, so go check it out. Then I watched No One Will Save You. This movie, I wasn't expecting that it would be released. And when I say I wasn't expecting it, I didn't know it was being released. I just knew that this movie was on Disney Plus because I saw that in Rotten Tomatoes there was this movie, also in Letterboxd, and I was saying that people were talking good about it. I was saying a lot of people saying it was a 9 out of 10 movie. It was an amazing one. It was an immersive experience. And I didn't find this movie as great as these people are saying. It has a really interesting dynamic that everyone talks about, that this movie has no dialogue. But apart from that, like, the movie doesn't deliver much. Like, the visual effects is completely CGI, and with a movie that has cost 23 million, like, you can't do everything on CGI, just have no budget for that. But the CGI is not something that we have to, it's not horrendous, like we can watch it no problems. But then the script of the movie facilitates so much for the protagonist, where other characters, like for anyone in the world, they would have been killed, but for the protagonist, like, she just has to walk away and it's all okay. Like, I don't really catch that. I don't really catch those things too much, but it was something that I didn't like it. And yeah, the movie has its things. Like, the direction is good. The acting of the protagonist, that is basically the only character that we have. She has to carry the movie all by herself. She does a nice job. She does a good job. So I have to admit, she does a good job. But it's not, it's a movie that is not anything special. Then I watched Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. I watched this movie so much when I was a kid, and yeah, we can see why kids love this movie because it is really childish. But even nowadays, I don't think this is a bad movie. I think it's an okay movie. It has a good story, an interesting story. It has a good animation, a good color palette, and I think it's just a fun movie to watch. Then I finished the month with Murder on the Orient Express. Didn't like this movie. I want to be really fast with this one. I didn't like it. I didn't want to watch this movie even. Like there was this guy that was saying that it was an amazing movie and we should watch. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Throughout the whole movie, the story is not really captivating. Like, yeah, of course you want to know who the killer is, but it's not something that we are there investing our whole life, our whole capacity of, we are not really trying to solve the mystery. We just wanted to know, like, just give it to me. And this was the video, guys. I know it was a bit long. I watched a lot of movies this month. I watched 25, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can agree with me in some movies, and those movies that I recommended it, I really do. When I say I recommend the movies, because I really do. I really like it. And this was the video, guys. If you have anything to comment about something that I said that you didn't like or that you agree also, you can say it on the comments section. So yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.